Hey Hoop Nerds, Sarah the Vegan Hooper here. I hope you're having a beautiful, beautiful fall day. Today I wanted to share a method that I just discovered with you, but there is a little backstory to it. So I am going to begin with the talking segment, which I know that you love so much. So let's jump on in. I've been hula hooping for over 11 years and I've been twin hooping for maybe 3 years now. And if there is a video out there, I have seen it, I have learned it, I have mastered it. So, not to be vague, that's just where I'm at. But I just recently deleted my Instagram because I was becoming obsessed with it and upset with it. And I realized once I deleted that, which was my only link to social media besides YouTube, which kind of doesn't count because it's not like it's not as much as a community as Facebook or Instagram is, where you could just easily comment and so on and so forth. But the hooping community on Instagram is huge, and you discover new moves all the time, and you are obsessed with your favorite hoopers. Once I deleted Instagram, I fell back in love with my twin hoops, and that's when I discovered this method, which I'm sure a lot of you have already maybe even heard of or done. But I want you to really buckle down and try this the next time you hit a plateau, or the next time you are having the winter blues and you're stuck in the house. Just try this with your 1 to however many hoops you have, whatever you are obsessed with. So with the backstory being said, then I will now begin and explain the method to you. So this method, like I said, will be easier for intermediate to advanced hoopers who already know the names or know every trick in their craft, so to speak, or at least the simple ones. Like if you're a one hooper, every one hooper knows what a wedgie looks like or what waist hooping looks like, and so forth. So work with what you've got, what you know, and this might help you to connect moves together that you never thought could connect, or to switch it up a bit. So I want you to think of 2 random moves off the top of your head. So I'm going to choose caps and the hug weave that I mentioned before. So usually for caps, there is a certain way I get into caps, okay? There is a certain way I end up turning somehow. I do my wheel plane flowers, and then I add my caps to it. I do my bottom caps, but I want to, and of course there is a certain way I get into the hug weave. It's either through this Steve Baggs move, or it is through a 3-beat weave. But those are basically, that is how I get into those 2 moves. But I want to take the 2 tricks that I just mentioned, or whatever 2 tricks that you choose, and I want to connect them. And I want to connect them with the first way I think possible. So I'm going to start by being in a hug weave, okay? And I want to get immediately on to wheel plane to do my caps. So I'm going to, what is the first thing that comes to my mind? Slowing it down. Caps. Okay? And if I record myself, which I just did, I will, or if I'm in front of a mirror, I'll say, eh, or I'll be like, whoa, that was really cool. So let me try that again. I am in I am in a hug weave, and I want to get into caps. I'm going to try turning first. Okay, so I tried something different that time, okay? So basically what this is forcing me to do is choose 2 moves that I already have a method of getting in and out of, or I don't, okay? But maybe it's a new move, and I want to connect the two with something in between some sort of, what is it called when you connect a move? Transition, some sort of transition from the two moves, from one move to the next move. So let's choose something different, okay? And let's say that I mess with that. Let's say I mess with the hug weave and the caps for 20 different tries, or for 20 minutes even. I'm going to come across at least one thing that I think is a smooth transition from one move to the other that I am in love with, okay? And that just opened up a doorway for me to put those two moves together that I never thought could be together without me using my little method of turning, going into flowers, and then turning back to wall plane and doing my, you know, wall plane flowers, and then the little Steve flop thing into the hug weave, okay? Or getting into my, you know, weaves. There's a certain way you get into your moves, and this is going to help you switch it up and to discover two things that usually do not connect and will help it connect. So now I'm going to randomly pick two other things. Okay, I just had to pause my video, but I am back. I was thinking of the gyroscope, so let's choose two other tricks that we've mastered, and that would be the gyroscope, and pick another one. These split time linear, half linear isopop thingies, okay? So how are we going to connect that? Without even thinking, what is our body's first instinct to turn and get that move, get from one move to the other? Okay, so that was my first instinct. I think it was a fold. Is it a smear into that, okay? And then I'm gonna do it again. What is my second instinct to get from the gyroscope? Ooh, that was my second instinct, which I've done a million times, but I don't want that, so I'm going to skip it. That was very smooth, okay? But what the point of this is you don't want to use something that is necessarily the smoothest and the easiest that you have done before. We want to take two moves and find a new way to get into them and connect two moves even that we've never connected before. With that being said, the two examples that I showed you was from wall plane to wheel plane. It doesn't have to be like that. Choose a move that's on wall plane, like these flowers, from another move on a wall plane, like the gyroscope I just did. What is my first instinct to stop this beautiful move and get into the other beautiful move? So my first instinct is that, okay? It might have been rigidity, it doesn't matter. If you keep playing with this method, eventually you will find a new way to connect moves. And with me finding this, it really has opened up a huge doorway for me, because I have noticed that my flow is different. And that's what I'm always looking for as a flow artist, is to change it up a bit, because sometimes you get stuck in, everybody's flow is different, of course, okay? With one hoop, two hoop, however many hoops, everybody knows the same tricks, but their flow is different because every human is different, and the art is beautiful, you know, art is different. But this will help me to do something different, and it might even surprise you, because it surprised me. I am noticing that my rhythm is changing, my flow is different, and I'm absolutely falling in love with this method. So you may have done this before, but you could, if you haven't, really try this the next time you hit a plateau, or try it today. I was thinking for this video, but I didn't do it, was to even write down a bunch of tricks that I know, wheel plane, wall plane, floor plane, whatever plane, and put them all in a hat and pick two. And I'm forcing myself to connect without overthinking it too much. I mean, you're more than welcome to overthink it, but that's what we do as performance artists, is what is going to be the prettiest transition from this to that without it being rigid, and be as rigid and ugly as you want to for this practice, for this drill, because you are basically going to find something that you could clean up later on. So I found a beautiful way, when I first discovered this, from the hug weave. I slowed my hug weave down, and I kind of did something like that. And now I am on wheel plane. I'm sorry, wall plane. And I, like I said, have one way in and out of most of my moves, and it's the same thing I do. And this is really helping me to add tricks that I usually never add. You know, it's making me flow without thinking, and that's really what we want to do. So I think that this would be most helpful if you record yourself. Choose 2 tricks. Try what your body or your brain first chooses to get from one trick to the other. Try it 5 times in a row and rewatch the video, and you may find something that surprises you. You're like, oh, I can't believe I did that without even thinking of it. And then you could go back, because it's recorded or because you looked at yourself in the mirror, and you could clean it up more. So that is my method. Now that the church bells are starting, I think I will end this video. I hope this helped somebody out there in Hoop Land, and I hope that you guys hoop your little butts off this this fall season. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and have a beautiful, blessed day. Bye, guys. Mwah.